everybody.
Hi,
it's
hi.
Robin and Anna, and we're here again. Season 6, Tipsy Realtors.
Yes.
Liquid Lunch Wednesdays.
Yes, 12:30. Live on Facebook.
Little bit of
Cocktails and real
entertainment,
estate. Yeah.
A little bit of entertainment, a little bit of education.
And yes, so because we're kind of approaching the beginning of the spring market, our topics were obviously getting you guys prepared to get into that real estate market. So last week we talked about the 5 major mistakes that seller can make, and today we're talking about 5 major mistakes that the buyer can make and should avoid.
But we're going to make you and teach you how to make something called the drunk duck first.
Yes.
So actually, there, look at
Yeah. Drunk duck.
Drunk duck and the 5 worst buyer mistakes.
Yes, the buyer mistakes.
Buyer mistakes.
Yeah.
So
because we had loose moose with the seller's mistakes.
Right.
So if you missed the show last week, you can go back to Robin Mosman Associates page and watch that. And let's do it. Let's do the drink.
Okay. So the drink is actually...
It's like, what do you have in your bar? Let's mix it.
Put it all together. Yeah. So all the fun ones, of course, because we have half an ounce of vodka and rum and Midori.
Yeah. So
half an ounce of blue Caraco. I did look for blue, like duck gummies to put in the cocktails, but I couldn't find them. So I tried.
If you have one of those big, like, you know how you have some of those big fish bowls, you can make actually like a rabbit ducky.
Yeah, I was actually gonna bring the fish bowls.
Or like, so because I already made this drink, I kind of know how it goes. You can make a punch out of this drink.
100%.
And like in a big one of those, like a big serving things, and put like rabbit duckies in it.
Oh, yeah.
And make them swim. So cute.
It'd be a good summer one.
Yes. All right. So like it's a big giant duck to jump with. Good. Let's go.
I'm worried if I jump with you, then the drink will go everywhere.
No, do not jump with me, especially with like the green drink. Nothing happened. Just don't go now.
All right, and then we put it into our wine glass.
Oh. Did you shake it too much? It's like frozen. Oh my god. No. Can I just help you with this? You shake it too much. It's like got frozen inside.
No,
like, look at this. It's like ice on the outside.
Don't bully me.
A little bit sensitive today.
This is our joke all day today that we've all been bullying each other.
Oh, I think that's it.
All right.
And then you top it up with some Sprite.
There we go.
Yeah. And we're going to use a kiwi for garnish.
Which is lovely.
And I got even a green straw to match. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, mine is like different color. I must have put more green stuff in it. Yeah. Cheers.
Right,
Let's do it. Okay, let's give it a go. Let's I'm curious. It's probably gonna be sweet.
Definitely very refreshing.
It's really sweet. You know, when I actually did make it, I was thinking for myself, if I would have made it next time, instead of top it up with Sprite, I would have done soda.
You could.
Because I think it's still gonna have lots of flavor from like blue Caraco and a melon ball and pineapple juice. But with the soda, it would have diluted that sweetness and still feel like fizzy and bubbly.
Yeah, no, totally.
Mm-hmm.
It's still really good. Like, it's a cocktail that doesn't taste like a cocktail, but it definitely is sweet.
Yeah, it's the one that gonna stick up on you. It's definitely good for the summer, a crowd pleaser, super girly. Yeah, super girly. So if you have a green theme or something, St. Patrick's Day. Ooh, there you go. This one would be good. Like if you don't like to drink green beer.
Yeah, this is a good St. Patty's Day drink. All right. Oh, Caesar. Caesar says cheers. Cheers, Caesar.
Cheers. Thanks for watching.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
It's thirsty. So first thing, like when we were chatting about what is like number one mistake that the buyer is doing, and it come kind of from like a recent, I would say, professional experience, that is the buyer does not engage the realtor soon enough. And that means by the time some buyers like, well, I didn't want to bother you. I did my research. went to some open houses. I already walked a whole bunch of builders. I talked to my mortgage broker, and then they would sit down and talk to us about their goals and things. It's like, actually, you need to like change that completely because this is what we're gonna able to do for you.
Well, and
Yeah,
sometimes yeah, they don't know what they don't know, and it's
right.
not saying that people don't know what they want, but sometimes when we start throwing out different options of
It's not
how they
about
can,
wanting; it's how to get there.
yeah,
Like that.
and
Yeah,
then we have rules in our industry, and a lot of people don't know. Like if you're going to look at new homes and you want your agent to represent you,
with a builder.
unfortunately,
Yeah,
with a builder,
yeah.
unfortunately, if you've already walked into that show home, the builder won't allow us to partake in the transaction at all.
That's right. So that's like probably like number one. And for example, if you have talked to the mortgage broker, usually you say, "Hey, I want to buy a property. Can you please pre-approve me?" And they will just gonna run the hard numbers, kind of a generic way. But what if you want to buy a property that has a suite in the basement? What if you want to buy a more expensive property, but you cannot qualify for it? So let's say your mortgage broker comes back to you and says, "Oh, you only can pre-approve for 500," and you're like, "Well, I want such and such house." If you already consulted with your realtor, for example, saying that I want to live in this neighborhood, and we can tell you this is the homes that you can purchase. And if they have a legal suites because it's maybe something, common there, you can use that income to qualify for a bigger amount.
And sometimes illegal suites can be used to qualify as well. So those
Yes.
are all things. The other thing that I love is when people engage us early.
Oh, I'm just afraid.
Like,
Start bleeding. Hold on,
but
let's.
a lot of times, what people don't realize too
Is it
is
is it on is it on the show? That's the first time this is happening on the show. Oh my god, this glass is just rolling. Okay, there you
okay.
go.
What ends up happening is sometimes when people go get qualified and they'll say, okay, well the mortgage broker says I qualify for 440, and my question always is 440 your mortgage amount or is 440 your purchase price? Because those are two different numbers.
Yes.
And a lot of times the reason why that matters is because your mortgage amount that you qualify for can't change, but your purchase price or your down payment can, and that can vary the purchase price. The other reason why is a lot of times because we tend to have a little bit more intimate conversations with you. I'll start asking things like to the mortgage broker, there's GDS and TDS, and these numbers have to be at a maximum amount of something. And if your GDS is high and your TDS is low, it just means that sometimes you need to refinance your payments or change how you're doing your payments because it means that your TDS is a gross amount of debt you're allowed to have. So those are all those
Yeah.
reasons why is we're going to ask all the questions that you don't know to ask because we want to make sure that you really are getting the maximum value. I always joke around, we're like real estate project managers, which is why you want us in from the get-go, from the start of the project, because you're going to come to us with your real estate project, which is your purchase, and we're
Mm-hmm.
going to start looking at all the players in the game and making sure that you've pulled out all the information in every level of the conversation to make sure that you are always making the best decisions
Yeah,
for you.
and that's why, like, once you get your realtor engaged, the next thing you need to get your pre-approval done. So
Absolutely.
the mortgage person goes, mortgage professional goes second, because then we now work as a team, and getting pre-approved is extremely important because we're not gonna go and show you something that at the end of the day you decide not to be, you happen not to be qualified for, and now you maybe have seen the more expensive properties, you already like them. It's really hard to go a little bit more down on the budget. So
Absolutely.
there's like a tooth. And of course, when you qualifying for mortgage, you collect certain documents. You want to make sure when you do find that perfect home for yourself and you write an offer with a condition to financing, that 99% chance you got to get approval done there.
Well, and even too is like I just had this experience recently, and it was actually with Charlene. Is Charlene is looking at financing a certain real estate purchase, and she was going to one type of lender, and I said you need to go to this type of lender, and she didn't know that. She didn't know that there was other options and all that kind of stuff. So then I got her to go to the different type of lender so that she could get the answer she was looking for. So sometimes just because you're comfortable with your bank, that may not be the best person to go to. Because what you
Yes,
don't understand sometimes is that credit unions and banks are done by two different legislations. So they have two different rules. So credit unions can do certain things and banks can do certain things. And sometimes they can't do
hmm,
the same thing.
that's right.
So
Yeah,
we have that information, that knowledge to help guide you down the right pathway and go to the right person to make sure that you got all the
yeah.
answers.
Another was the biggest mistake that come up in like my search when I was kind of like, what is the biggest mistake buyers do? Focusing just on a purchase price. And so like I kind of when I read it, I took it the wrong way. It's like people say like, oh, it's like I was approved for 600, but I this price is 610, and I was like, well, we can always negotiate that down. They always can like massage your mortgage papers and kind of talk to the mortgage broker. But when I actually read what it come back with, it's was coming to the budget, because when you are buying a property, besides the mortgage payment, you will have to pay property tax, utilities, insurance. And it's very important if you have certain budget in mind that you need to spend on a monthly basis to calculate that. So you're not moving into the house and then you're finding that you're having a hard time keeping up with the bill payments.
But it's not also that, is you should have a spreadsheet going, honestly. And if you are not good at spreadsheets, like I build spreadsheets for our clients all the time so they can understand what a house will truly cost, especially
Yeah.
when there's condo fees involved. Because
Yeah.
if you're looking at a condo and you have these condo fees here at 600 and they include absolutely everything, and you have this condo over here and their fees are 200 but it includes nothing,
Yeah.
and you're thinking, well, this 200 is a better deal, but this than the 600. Well, no, it's not really, because this 600 is including all your utilities and this 200 isn't. And by the time you're done, you're pretty much a wash.
Yeah, like the condo fees can be like include some utilities, like certain utilities, one utility, none utilities. It all depends. So, and I mean, that's something again, like the once we sit down with like, at the beginning with your agent, you're saying my budget is 2 grand a month.
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, even if you qualify for X amount of money, by the time you budget everything extra besides your mortgage payment, you'll be at 3,000. So that's very important to also to get that done, so you don't set your expectations super high and then you realize you cannot pay for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Skipping the home inspection and condo doc review. It's super important to
we
make sure,
to be honestly, we get that question all the time, do I really have to do it?
because they're expensive.
Yeah,
They're like
it's
four or five
expensive.
hundred bucks.
Yes,
But honestly, as I say to everyone, I'm like 400 or 500 bucks. You're spending anywhere from 200 to $1 million. Spend 400 or 500 bucks.
for
Or
your, yeah, like for your due diligence, for you know like feel secure and safety in your investment.
absolutely.
Yeah.
The other question we actually get a lot too is how much money, just speaking of the money one on the purchase price, what do lawyers cost? That's another great question. And that's something else you have to make sure you have to have taken into account, is not only you have your damage deposit, or sorry, damage deposit, down payment,
Yeah.
but you have your lawyer fees as well, and your home inspection fees, and all these extra costs that are you're going to incur when purchasing a home.
Yeah.
So you've got that set aside. And understanding the deposit too is another big one, because a lot of people don't realize
Yeah.
that if their deposit is in their first time home buyer savings account or their RRSPs or even their
That's it.
TFSAs, it takes time to pull that out. So
Yeah.
you may have to start pulling that out, especially in fast markets,
Yeah.
to ensure that you have access to it to put down those deposits on houses. And how much of a deposit do you need for your purchase price, right?
Yeah.
For $200,000 purchase, you probably could get away with a 5.
5 grand. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're up around 400, then you're looking at about $10,000. If you're up around 700, 800, you're going to start jacking that up to 25,000 or more.
And you
So
need to be available in cash, because if you're writing an offer today and it gets accepted today, generally it's within the 24 to 48 hours we need to deliver that initial deposit with the accepted offer.
which is a certified
Yeah.
fund, so you have to make sure you have time to go and get it from the bank.
That's right. Draining savings for down payment. So again, this is, I wouldn't say it's a mistake as long as you understand what you're doing.
You have to understand the risks
Yes,
involved.
exactly. how you use your savings, what's kind of happens with you in the future, what kind of, like, what's your monthly paycheck is, what are we buying, how rough of the shape the property is.
Absolutely.
If it's in a great shape, then most likely
Or brand new.
or brand new, or it's
Yeah.
a condo, there is a lot less of certain expenses that may happen, especially right away. But definitely, like, you have a plan, like, to put away X amount of money based on your home for your maintenance.
Yeah, so because we have so many houses that
I
we
kind of just
own.
go with the flow.
Yeah.
Don't do that. But
Well, we
yeah,
have so many houses that we actually have a capital replacement plan for all of the houses, because when you own 5 houses, you've got to start planning when you're going to do big budget items like shingles, windows, all that kind of stuff. And two of our houses, one is built in 1900 and the other was built in 1932. So we have to really make sure that we've got that money aside, so that
yeah.
if something big like that happens, we're not caught flat-footed, because that's the last place you want to be when things go wrong.
Yeah, and again, for the buyers who's buying investment properties, let's your renter is moved out and
Yeah.
not paying rent, or something has happened and your property is empty. You still responsible for the mortgage and bill payments. So you want to make sure you do have that secure, um, you have that secure budget. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And that
Yeah.
those are absolutely important processes to think about. Another thing is, don't let your emotions, this is the last one, the
Yeah.
fifth one is, don't let your emotions drive the decision making. But this is what your realtors are for. Like, let's be
Yeah.
honest. That's what we're there for, is to pull that
Hmm.
emotion out, throw the logic back into the transaction, reaffirm the things that you've told us that is your priorities, things are important to you, and make sure that you're making a decision that's reflecting that. Or if you're not, you're acknowledging that you're not, because that's always an important thing. Like when someone says, I only want a 2 story, and suddenly we're in a bungalow and they say, I want to write an offer, I'm like, okay, just making sure that you understand. You indicated you wanted a 2 story, we're standing in a bungalow, let's review how this meets your needs, and it's not exactly what it is you had said originally.
Yeah, and I guess, like, the entire real estate process is very fluid, right? You kind of sometimes have to pivot and change the direction. Sometimes you have a certain idea how your negotiations going, because you already reviewed the statistics for the community, you already looked up a few things, and you're like, okay, well, this is where we should be landing, and then seller gets stuck and they negotiating now, because we're always negotiating in their favor. It's not going as smooth as you hoped, or especially if it's a home inspection items. So, like, that being disappointed and stressed can lead to making emotional decisions. And that's where you need to rely on your realtors, because we've done this transactionally, like, year after year on so many levels, and I've seen so many different situations. So you can vent to your realtor, but do not, like, we always gonna advise you, okay, listen, I'll go back to the seller, I'm gonna tell them this in a very nice, polite way. So we're not taking your emotions and giving them to the other side, because we really try to be balanced, and I don't want to say
Well, we're always
emotionless.
in your favor,
Yes.
but we're definitely trying to advocate without the emotional part to it.
Yeah.
We had a deal last night, where actually the buyer submitted an offer on one of our listings, and this buyer has been looking for 3 years, and he was still trying to pay 3 years ago prices. And sometimes that's it too, is setting realistic expectations. I joked around because I hadn't double taken a offer number before, but I looked at it, I'm like, am I wrong on how much we're asking for this house?
Yeah.
And I looked it up, and no, I was right, but that's how low that offer was. And I didn't want to be rude to the agent. He's doing his job and stuff like that. But it that's also part of it, is as your agent, it's our job to be set you realistic expectations. And at the end of the day, we'll write whatever you tell us to,
Yeah,
because
at the end
that's
of
what
the
we have to
day,
do.
we do have to follow your lawful real
100%.
estate instructions.
100%. But
Yeah.
it's also like, it's important, and I've done it to clients, say, hey, and I always use the term,
Yeah.
you know what, you can start with a slap in the face, or you can start with a punch in the face.
Yeah.
But understand, when you're negotiating and you start with a punch in the face,
Yeah.
don't be shocked if you get a punch back.
That's right. Exactly.
So you could just
Yeah.
have to decide how you want to approach
Yeah.
them the first time, and then we work backwards from there.
Yeah. Well, that's our 5 points.
Absolutely.
So,
So let's show
what are
them
we doing?
the
Gift?
gift.
Yes.
So
We,
obviously,
we
if you
have a
like,
monthly prize that you guys can win
yeah,
by following us on social media, obviously Facebook Live, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. And every time you see the Tipsy Realtor show and you like it and you're loving it, and tagging your friends, you win a monthly prize. And this month we're doing a smoking kit. So you got,
which is an
yeah,
electric smoking kit.
yeah,
It looks so cool.
yeah. It comes with the wood chips and the smoking gun. So has all the things you can make a fantastic smoky cocktail.
And the reason why it's important to get is because March is going to be
Oh
smoking.
yes, so you guys wait. The spring market is coming. And what are we doing next week?
So next week we're doing something called the Turf Club, and we're talking about backing onto golf courses, green space, farmlands, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons of that.
Yeah,
Because with every good thing comes a bad thing.
that's right. That's kind of been a hot topic in Calgary for the last, I would say, 10 years.
Yeah, and
So,
what risk
smoking cocktail is the Tipsy Realtor Season 6 cocktail and real estate journal. So, where you can follow recipes and make notes. So,
But in
yeah.
that, we will see you next week.
Yeah.
And remember, if you have a friend, family, coworker, someone you like, someone you don't like, anybody who talks about real estate in a coffee shop while you're having a coffee, even if you don't know them, please make sure that you tell them to give us a call because we will help them get the best information possible and make the best decision way we can. So we will see you next
Yeah.
week.
See you
Thanks
next
so
week.
much.